I'm Megan Schmidt for the Holland Sentinel, and I'm here at Hope College where this afternoon students and faculty gathered to watch the historic inauguration of Barack Obama. Right before the inauguration, Dr. Fred Johnson led a panel discussion.
What I want to do is just give some questions to the panel. The theme throughout the campaign was change. Given the turbulent state of our nation, what is your outlook on change? What do you think it'll take to turn things around, and what can we do individually as a campus to make a difference?
To answer that question, I think that Barack Obama, for the young generation, kind of is he represents the vision that a lot of us in the youth kind of want to see in the United States. As far as change on the campus, I think, not only on the campus, but also in the United States, I think we kind of all just need to come together and support Barack and a lot of the things that he wants to advocate throughout the United States. As far as the economy, I think, the number of foreclosures that are, I think, at a record high right now, I think I would love to see that change. The number of dropouts in high school rates, I'd like to see that change as well. And I just like the whole envision and the whole, everything that Barack represents, and I'm excited to see if he can actually represent the change that he's been speaking throughout his whole campaign.
Well, it's probably best we let Don have the last word on this one. I don't know what kind of change we'll see. In part, that we will see change, I think, is inevitable. You'll see that with any president. I think the concept itself is sort of inherently vacuous. It doesn't really mean anything to say that change is going to occur. Massive changes occurred under the Bush presidency. He was certainly an agent of change in a lot of ways. So to suggest that someone is going to be an agent of change doesn't tell us anything about the change that will occur. So I've never been a big fan of that kind of language because A, it's not concrete enough, and B, it suggests an awful lot about presidential power that we ought to perhaps look a little skeptically at. As the framers of the Constitution liked to say, the power to do good is also the power to do tremendous harm. If you're going to give someone power to do all the good things you want them to do, you're likely to be giving either them or their successor the power to do lots of things you don't want them to do. I think one of the reasons why American politics has become more contentious over the last number of years, don't want to necessarily fix a date on that, is precisely because the presidency has become sort of a lightning rod of public expectations for all the things that we want to see change. I'm not sure it's ultimately healthy for our polity to have that.
This is fun. I think the rhetorical term post-partisan is not a rhetorical term for Barack Obama. I think he is very intentional about saying to both Democrats and Republicans, we got to work this one out together. And you come along with me working this out together, or you find another job. And it's going to be real interesting to see. And it's fascinating, Jeff, to hear you and other people who are in the 47%.
Well, you're assuming something there, Don.
But it's interesting to hear people who are now being asked their opinion, even though they lost the election, to become partners in the process, for them to think in terms of, now how can I be a partner as a minority member? Some of the congressional leaders have been asked by Barack Obama, what do you think needs to be in the revitalizing set of legislation? And they're used to thinking of themselves, as has been the case for the Democrats when they were in the minority, as in opposition to whatever anybody else says. Now they're being asked what their opinion is. And in, it's very clear they've got a huge $300 million tax cut on the table that they've been pushing. Now that they got what they wanted, how much are they willing to compromise to make it happen? And I'm really going to be fascinated to see how Barack Obama is able to transcend some of those entrenched, long-term divides on both the Democratic side and the Republican side. When he invited the pastor to do the invocation today, he infuriated a whole lot of very partisan Democrats. And he signaled by that invitation he wasn't going to be held by those old assumptions about what is my group and what is your group. He argues we've got to transcend those old divisions. And it's going to be very interesting to see how now the opposition becomes potentially a loyal opposition. There's going to be some flaking around the edges. Undoubtedly, some of the Republican senators are going to find themselves cooperating, and others are going to be pushed more to the margins. There are going to be Democrats who are going to be cooperating, and others pushed to the margin. Barack Obama transcends those false dichotomies in ways that we haven't fully comprehended, I'm convinced of. That's the change I see happening, Fred.
Why did you kind of decide to come out to this today and check it out? Have you been looking forward to the inauguration?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just think it's a really cool experience, especially here at Hope, getting other people's opinions. There's a discussion afterwards. So I just think it would be cool just to get other people's perspectives and see how they react to it, because I'm sure it will be different from my perspective.
What do you think it is about Barack Obama that inspires people, you know, especially young people? I mean, he kind of has taken on almost kind of like a superstar, you know, quality,
Yeah.
especially with young people. What do you kind of think about that? What do you think makes him someone they can relate to?
So appealing.
Yeah.
I just think definitely just his youthful appeal, like he's really connected with the audience, and just the way he speaks to people, he really can just grab their attention, and I don't know, I just think he really can appeal to young people from the different, what am I trying to think of? Just some of his policies and everything, he's concerned with the young people, and that's something that's really important.
And that's what's going on at Hope College. For the Holland Sentinel, I'm Megan Schmidt.